Welcome, brave souls, to this realm where darkness reigns supreme and the mysterious whispers, secrets of terror. Prepare yourselves for a journey into the depths of fear, where nightmares come to life and the line between reality and fiction blurs into oblivion. Here, amidst the shadows, we dare to delve into the forbidden, the occult, and the taboo to exhume the tales that lurk in the darkest corners of the mind. So gather around, dear friends, with your popcorn and blankets. Turn the lights down low and heed the warning. Once you enter this realm of chilling tales, there is no turning back. Welcome to the realm of nightmares. The creature that stood on the wooden platform may have been a woman at one point, but that was before they had sheared the hair from its head, stripped it of its pride and clothing, and paraded it in front of the townsfolk as they threw rocks. The creature they tied to that wooden platform was no longer a woman now. It was no longer human. They wouldn't tie a naked, dirty, bruised woman to a stake. They wouldn't burn a human being to death. A witch, however, a witch they could burn with feral smiles on their face and fervor in their eyes. So a witch it was that they were ridding the world of. It was a public service. The creature stared straight ahead, its face emotionless, as the executioner thrust its torch into the stacks of tarred wood at the base of the platform. The wood caught fire quickly, with a curl of smoke reaching towards the velvety night sky. The creature did not look at the flame, as the smoke quickly obscured the multitude of stars and made the executioner cough, forcing him to back up. The creature stared without blinking, somehow immune to the stinging in its eyes, as smoke wrapped it in its hazy embrace. It counted its heartbeats. It remembered. Time slowed as the fire crept up the stack of wood, crept up towards bloody toenails and bare skinny legs. Its heart beat once, heavily. The creature recalled life as a little girl with soft yellow curls and bright red cheeks. It remembered running through fields, shrieking with glee after rabbits and birds. It pictured the hot sun on her head and the way the golden wheat slapped against her legs as she ran. Heedless of the way the hem of her dress tore on a passing thorn bush, it remembered the smell of the man she ran into, the shock of sweat and rancid pork fat. It remembered looking up in surprise to see a wide smile with chipped teeth in a scruffy, bearded face. It could see the gleam in his eyes. Its heart beat again, slowly. The creature recalled humming to herself as she stood in the town square, reeling up a bucket of water from the well. It smiled at the memory of the yellow-bellied bird perching on the edge of the well to look at her with its beady black eyes. It remembered whistling a little melody to the bird. After she had set the bucket of water on the edge of the well, it remembered the group of children running by, laughing wildly as both the bucket and she went flying, one lost into the well, and the other to land on the hard paving stones of the square. It winced at the memory of how they screamed horror at her, and how their mothers looked on with stony faces and fiery hate in their eyes. Its heart beat a third time, painfully. The creature tried not to remember being used by man after man, sometimes roughly, never happily. The creature looked at her belly as she remembered growing large with child. It hated it, and also feared the life it would be cursed to live. It recalled swallowing something bitter that made her choke. Then, not long after that, pushing out the stiff, unmoving flesh, alone, bleeding on the floor of the privy. It remembered the miniature, empty, blue eyes looking blankly at her. The creature remembered walking on the street on a cold, lonely night. It remembered the feeling of a hand yanking her dirty yellow braid sharply, pulling her into a dark alleyway. It heard itself screaming into an uncaring night, thrashing out with arms and legs. It remembered when the fist suddenly let her braid go as the body of a man fell to the ground and blood started to seep from a dent in the side of his head. It could still see the reflection of the moon in his unblinking eyes. The creature remembered holding a knife to her master's throat as he signed her papers of freedom. Staring into his eyes, hard with contempt, and moving ever so slightly, it remembered his body crashing backwards into his chair as he scrabbled in vain at the gash in his neck, and how he knocked over a candle in his death throes, causing the dry wood around him to catch and burn quickly. It remembered seeing a reflection of her face in the mirror on his wall, and the flames shining in her eyes. The creature remembered running away and finding an abandoned house in the woods near this village. There, it lived in peace for years, and it was there that her memories slowly faded into new memories of a husband and a daughter with soft yellow curls. It remembered recognizing the new blacksmith in town. It remembered watching as her neighbors started looking at her differently, suspicion growing in their eyes. The creature recalled the day she came home from the market and found her home silent, its windows broken. It could smell the charred wood even now. The creature remembered sitting in front of the empty house, tears drying on her face as she listened to the sound of boots marching up the path to her house. It remembered the torchlight through the trees. It remembered hearing them scream, "Murderer! Whore!" Which light rushed back into the creature's eyes as the memories ran out. It glared out at the townsfolk surrounding her, its eyes red and glittering in the flickering flames that had risen to wrap around its body. Lightning flashed out of the sky, blinding the creature. An acrid smoke rose to join with the smoke from the dry wood. The townsfolk were no longer screaming. The creature heard only the sound of its own flesh crackling in the flames, and nothing more. The woman closed sightless eyes, a small smile on her mouth, which was now devoid of flesh, and her heart did not beat again.